text message from my girlfriend saying that my dreams were going to destroy my hopes. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the main event? Yeah. Are you ready for the final comedian of the night? Yeah. This man is a heavyweight champion, a 5-time heavyweight champion. He is a maestro of the mic. He is a wrangler of the ring. He's made women cry. He's made men have babies. He is the Nature Boy, Matt Kona! What he failed to tell you is this is the best comedian you idiots have ever seen!
Just kidding, it's all ruse.
Alright. Thank you guys so much for being here all night tonight.
Just let me gauge the crowd.
By a standing ovation, how are you doing? Hey, by a round of applause, how many of you know what a fucking standing ovation is? No.
You chose to stay seated.
Just finish the spear and get started.
Almost there. We'll take a pause. We'll take a pregnant pause. And go. I'm a vegan. You guys know what vegan is? It's not a big deal if not everyone does. I'm used to it. I have to explain it because sometimes people will confuse it for other things, like vegetarian or homosexual. And it's slightly different. Sometimes it's different. It means you don't eat meat, you don't eat dairy products, you don't make sense to the rest of your family. That part is 100% true. Like the first time that I went out to lunch with my dad, like after I went vegan, I thought we could go somewhere we'd both enjoy because they had a vegetarian menu. And I'm looking at it, I get to item number 3. It's a tuna salad. Like, oh, they think it's vegetarian because of what it's surrounded by. That would be like if the third item under their seafood menu was a pork sandwich just because the pig drowned. So I thought I'd play it safe and order a veggie burger. Because I can do that nowadays, because it's the 90s and they sell them everywhere. If you're having an acid flashback, it's not really the 90s, it just kind of looks that way on stage. Looks like the lead singer of the Spin Doctors after he lost everything. Maybe Kurt Cobain if you missed. He just got the rest of his hair and grew it up here. All apologies if you didn't like that one. It's new, it's still in bloom, never mind. I hate myself and want to die. More obscure abuse of butt soundtrack. I have like an endless, nameless amount of tags for that. Too.
Man, you are good.
Jeez.
Keep going.
Alright, I'm telling you. The annoying thing about the veggie burger, though, is that not all of them are created vegan. Like some of them will have cheese, or egg whites, or fur coats and leather jackets. Michael Vick Comeback Player of the Year trophies. Something that's harmful to animals that expired in 2010. But I asked the waitress, and she says, yes, it is vegan, but but the bun that we serve it on is not. Okay, all right. Like, I don't want just the patty. I'm not like an Atkins vegan, so it's like, you know what? Maybe I'll just have a salad. Or kind of. She's like, well, we've got a delightful roasted vegetable salad served inside of a carved-out monkey skull with typo-negative vinaigrettes. It's to die for. It's for the monkey to die for you. So I ordered it, but the waitress walks away, and my dad just looks at me like so disappointed in my life choices. He's like, you know, you used to love cheeseburgers. Because it was windy. So I just looked at my dad, and I was like, you know, you used to love Mom! And now neither of us eat those things. Move on, Dad! It's not the 90s anymore, we're not a family anymore. I do like my dad, he's a cool guy, he's on a diet and he's lonely, but he's a cool guy. But he'll do this thing that a lot of dads do, and you might have one that does this, or you might be the one that does this, but they'll try to use like cool young people slang in everyday conversation. Just pass it off as if it were natural in any way. It's like, Dad, you don't have to yell, "What's up?" every time you enter a room. That Super Bowl was 5 years ago. We don't need to rehash that. But the best example that happened to me was New Year's Day. I called my dad up and I said, "Hey Dad, how was your New Year's Eve?" He's like, "It was pretty gnarly, dude." Gnarly, Dad? Like, yeah, ended up getting my swerve on. It's like, Dad, there is no cool way to say you drove home drunk. But I don't drink and drive because I don't own a car. Cars are expensive and so is booze, even if you got it from a fridge that's a prop on your stage. But I have made my fucking decision in the car versus booze debate. So I live in the city of Boston, and it's convenient for me because I take public transportation everywhere. And if you've visited, there's one train that it's always really crowded. It's between BC and BU, so it's packed with college students. I'm on it at the beginning of the summer, and I get on, it's no exception. It's packed to the gills. I'm like pressed up against the door, but this train is unusually quiet for such a packed train of college kids. And I soon found out why. Because there was one lone voice from further down the train, and the voice said, "Dancing! Dancing!" Now, keep in mind, I couldn't tell if he was actually dancing, but he was singing about it, so I believed him. And he continued, "I'm dancing. I'm dancing to titty music on the radio." And then things got weird. Because he stopped singing and just started yelling. He's like, "I gotta dance off this extra weight. I gotta get ready for beach weather. I'm going to Cohasset Beach." Cohasset Beach! It's where the Kennedys went. John F. Kennedy went there. John F. Kennedy taught me everything I know. But they shot him down. They shot him down in California. I don't know how many of you guys are history makers, but I felt the need to correct him. So I said, "Nope, it was in Dallas." And then this quiet train became a silent train. And everyone looked at me like I was the asshole. I couldn't believe it, and then I thought, wait, this crowded train just saw a crazy homeless guy yelling at another crazy homeless guy. Because he didn't know where they shot him down. And you'd be surprised, because I get that from time to time. I know. People think that I look like a crazy homeless guy. But I don't see it. I think I look more like a cool ex-skateboarder that doesn't live anywhere. Or maybe a guy that works part-time in a mini golf course. And got kicked out of his halfway house for relapsing. Or a local nomad. Or maybe a lighthouse keeper crashing on the couch of a different lighthouse keeper. Come on, man, we gotta stick together. You got an extra yellow raincoat I can borrow? A girl threw me out. But there are certain advantages for looking like a crazy homeless guy. And the number one is that you don't get hassled on the street by crazy homeless guys. And if you do, you're like, this guy is fucked. I gotta go. You think that I can help you? I'm just gonna take my chances with traffic. Occasionally, they won't be paying attention though. Like one time, a guy had his head down and he held up like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup. And he's like, hey, help me out, man. Can you help me out? And I took a chance. And I said, man, what do you think? I carry around a box of Joe? And he looks up and he says, ah, fuck you, Frank. My name is Matt. He's like, holy shit. I look like one of your coworkers. So I got to keep my change and go home to my home. But you get to if you look like this, you get to get away with things that regular people should not attempt for safety reasons. Like I could go up to a good-looking girl on the bus with her strong-looking boyfriend next to her and be like, you look pretty. Nobody minds. Even sometimes they'll give me $1 to get off that bus. But I will take that $1. I'll invest it. The best is like what I was saying, you can joke around with actual homeless people. Where you see them in their natural environment, so when you see them outside. There's a classic joke between homeless guys where they know each other and you're not surprising them. Where one will go up to the other and say, hey, pardon me, do you have any great bong? They'll laugh. Because that ad was on television back when they had homes. It's not anymore. I do watch a lot of television because it's typically the only thing on TV. There was a news story about someone who had recovered from a stroke and then could speak a foreign language that he couldn't speak before. It was a stroke of genius. So is that joke. It's actually more genius when it only works on one side. And the other side just looks sad. They don't get it. But everyone is speechless. I gotta be careful though, sometimes people really don't like that joke. I learned that the hard way. 3 winks means don't like joke. I assume. But I did recently spring for a TV VCR. I don't mean I shelled out the $5 to $7 that they go for nowadays. I mean I saw one on the street with a free sign on it, and I sprang for it before another hoarder could bring it home. And I brought it home, and I needed it, and perfect timing, because it was like my anniversary. I'm still going steady with my high school sweetheart. But she's a VHS tape. It's an adult movie called Hell on Heels. So I gotta put Hell on Heels in the VCR, and there's something in the way. So I hit eject, it won't come out. I realized that's probably one of the reasons they were giving it away in the first place. So I reluctantly pulled my pants back up again. I didn't buckle them because maybe someone else left a porno tape in there. Took a chance, pressed play. It was not porno tape. It was the Wizard of Oz. So I pushed my pants back down again. Look, if you can't watch Hell on Heels, you might as well go slow motion on some ruby slippers. So once my head and balls were clear, I kept watching the rest of the movie. I hadn't seen it for a very long time, and I realized, like the beginning, they're in Kansas, and oh, spoiler alert if this is in your Netflix queue, but I'm gonna get into a couple of plot points. So they're Kansas. In the beginning, it's in black and white. Dorothy's house gets taken up in a tornado. It lands in the middle of Oz. She hits her head, but then she wakes up, and right before she opens the door and sets foot outside to see the lifeless, striped legs of the Wicked Witch of the East sticking out from under her house, the movie turns from black and white into color, which I think is what the Wizard of Oz director is trying to tell us, is that you can't truly see all the colors of the world until you've killed a person. And then it just snaps into focus. It starts making sense. What doesn't make sense to me is a whole lot of the rest of the movie. Like, namely a bunch of the songs. Like, the first friend that Dorothy meets is the Scarecrow, and he sings a song about the first thing that he would do when he gets a brain. He says, I would while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. That is the first thing that he would do. Spend hours talking to vegetation. And when that gets old, just discuss it with the weather. And they get further down, they meet 2 more friends, and then they go to the Emerald City. They're also greeted by a song, not unusual at this point. But a lot of people don't remember this one. So I'll refresh your memory. I'll do the best I can. It says, on behalf of the city, they're singing this song. It's like, we get up at 12 and off to work at 1. Take an hour for lunch and then by 2 we're done. Jolly good fun! That is no way to run a city. When everyone that lives there only has to work for 60 minutes a day that they spend on break, choreographing elaborate dance routines. Like, that's why the Emerald City's so fucked up. That's why they're dyeing horses different colors. That's why they install a hay stuffing station in the middle of their beauty salon next to the tin buffing area. They let a man who crash landed a hot air balloon in the middle of their city to just run shit. Give him access to the pyrotechnics machine.
a free broom. And how can I overlook the Munchkins? Maybe because they're as tall as this stool and they're easy to overlook. But the Munchkins, I happen to know that there is one living Munchkin left. And it's weird because they don't give the actors credit by name. In the film it just says the Munchkins are played by the midget singers, which is somehow much worse. Why didn't you say the Munchkins as themselves? And you don't listen by name, so that leads me to come to the conclusion that you must have hired like 3 generations worth of private detectives just to keep track of who was living and dead between 1937 and 2012. Like, it must have been really stressful when there was 2 Munchkins left. There's like a private eye on both, and then one of them finally catches a break, and suddenly he's in his car, staring at the back door of a hospital, waiting for some medical intern to walk out with a duffel bag over his shoulder, with the second to last, no longer living Munchkin in it, just so he can get on the phone and be like, "Today's show, have I got a guest for you?" That's right, you can now book the last living Munchkin. Yeah, no, I know that there were 2, but now there's only 1. Yeah, not only is he